The 5 scariest places in the UK. Number 5. The Ancient Ram Inn. Located in a village in Gloucestershire named Watton-under-Edge, the Ancient Ram Inn, which was built in the 12th century, is reportedly frequented by up to 20 anomalies. The fact that this home was built on an ancient pagan burial ground makes it even more creepy. It is reported that the location was also used for satanic rituals, including the sacrificing of children. A few of the anomalies that haunt this cottage are reported to be that of an incubus, a high priestess, and a young girl who went by the name of Rosie. Witnesses of paranormal activity there have spoken of hearing a child scream, glowing lights along the wooden structure, and have even felt the sensation of being touched by an invisible force. The allure of the Ancient Ram Inn has attracted many thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts, though some were unable to last throughout the night and fled due to the overbearing nature of the ghosts, who frequently toss furniture around and hold down the visitors as they sleep. Number 4. 30 East Drive. The story of the 30 East Drive house is one extremely spooky one. This residence got the reputation of being one of the most haunted places in the United Kingdom due to its extremely hostile entities. The intensity of activity at this home forced the family to abandon it in the late 1970s, leaving it unoccupied for years. It is alleged that household items sliding across tabletops, light switches being turned on and off, and scary sounds and movement are just a few of the many strange happenings at 30 East Drive. Added to those incidents are even scarier tales of white dust falling from mid-air, green slime coming out of taps and toilets, plants catapulting out of pots, and pictures being slashed. It's reported that there are 2 spirits residing in this house, one of a more peaceful young girl and the other of a belligerent, evil adult male. Number 3. The Newton House, Wales. The Newton House, located in Wales, is one spooky sight. Even before getting inside this house, the ambience alone will scare you. A ghost, who is known as Walter the Butler, who allegedly worked at the house, is one of the many anomalies creating havoc there. The eerie smell of tobacco, lights turning on and off by themselves, and faint sounds of voices are some of the strange occurrences at the Newton House. One of the scariest hauntings there is the sensation of being choked while walking up the stairs. It is alleged that the culprit committing these acts is the ghost of a man who it is believed was responsible for the strangling of Lady Eleanor Cavendish, who was the cousin of the lady of the Newton House in the 1970s. In the 80s, members of a production crew who went to investigate the hauntings at the property all mysteriously fell ill one after the other, with one of the investigations unearthing the shadow of a young beautiful female gliding across the room. Number 2. The Nidre Street Vaults. In Scotland, the Nidre Street Vaults in Edinburgh are without a doubt the scariest place in the country. Sitting beneath the city, it was the haven for the murderous duo of William Burke and William Hare, who both committed vicious acts on their killing spree in 1828. The vaults were abandoned in 1795 by businesses above the bridge as it was prone to flooding. This led to it being inhabited by the city's poor, which is how it began to house brothels and pubs. The vaults then became common for robberies and other crimes, with the biggest atrocities being carried out by Burke and Hare, who were killing people and selling their corpses to medical schools. It is said that within these vaults there is a very brazen spirit dubbed the Watcher, who routinely grabs visitors. The spirit of the Watcher has an inclination towards attacking women. Also, among these vaults, there are constant reports of ghostly sounds of children's screams, strange mumbling, and terrified whimpers, perhaps coming from the spirits of the victims of Burke and Hare. Number 1. The Scariest Inn, Wales. It's not surprising that the Scariest Inn, having the reputation of being the oldest pub in Wales, is number 1 on this list. The history of this pub is extremely unnerving. as it housed hardened criminals who were given the toughest penalty of the law, death by hanging. Judge Jeffries, who was infamously called the Hanging Judge, used the pub as not only a courtroom, but also the place to carry out the horrible fate given to criminals by him. It is alleged that his spirit still lingers there, as visitors have reported feeling the sensation of being strangled. Other entities there include that of John Crowther, a sheep rustler who was condemned to death by hanging, Judge Jeffries' hangman, a local clergyman known as Henry Vaughan, and also the spirit of Fanny Price, who worked there in the 1700s. The sounds of soldiers, perfume scents, glass, and other objects being thrown around, and also sounds of whimpers and screams, are regular occurrences at the Scariest Inn.